recently did a blog about how to grow open source adoption and the different ways that you can do it. And quite honestly, it sounds simpler when you say it out loud than it actually is in practice. But we can distill down the three critical checkpoints, if you will, for open source adoption and growth. And those three checkpoints basically fall into building a kick-ass product, making sure it's easier to use, and also making sure people can find it and are aware that you even exist. Now, saying that is easy, implementing it is difficult. But you do need each of those three pillars in order to be successful. And if you miss any of the three, or if you don't have the right mix, you're going to run into problems long term. And so when we talk about these three things, I want to just mention how they work. So when we talk about a kick-ass product, no one will use your product and adopt it if it doesn't meet certain criteria. And so to find out what the minimum set of criteria you need to ask questions. You need to understand what you're trying to do, what your vision is, and what the market will bear. And being able to mix those two is important. But then as you build the product, you need to make sure you're meeting the minimum set of requirements that the market needs in order for you even to compete in that space. For instance, if you're a database vendor, if you're building some new database, you need to have backups. You need to be able to monitor your database. You need to be able to get data in and out of your database. If you don't meet those minimum requirements, then you're not a database. So as you start to build a kick-ass product, you're going to need to find out what the minimum requirements are, and then you're going to need to talk to your users who are part of that core demographic or your vision and ask them what they need and make sure your product exceeds what the minimum is and really focus on making what they need and what those end users are going to be looking for an awesome experience. If you build that and you make it an awesome user experience for them to use it, you're going to have a kick-ass product. Now, once you have the kick-ass product, you need to make sure that it's still easy to use. There are a lot of projects out on GitHub, a lot of products out on the market that just are so painful to use, people run away from them. So you want to make sure that the product itself is awesome. It has the features that meet the user's requirements or exceed them, but it also is easy enough for people to get started and be successful with fairly quickly, because if you don't do that, your competition will. If you have those two pieces, that's awesome, and you have something that has a great foundation for people to adopt, but then you need to kick it in with a sales, community, marketing effort. Okay, we need to make sure that people are out there talking about the product and telling people how easy it is. If you're looking for customers, you're going to be looking at sales and marketing. If you're looking for just gross adoption in the open source space, it's probably going to be more community DevRel or just evangelism focused, but you need to make sure that people are aware of that. And you're going to do that through a variety of different mechanisms, things like content, community engagement, direct outreach to potential customers. You're going to want to make sure that your website's awesome, your documentation is up to snuff. There's a lot of different things that you can do, but you need to make sure kick-ass product, awesome, easy to install, use, and be successful with, is combined with an effective awareness strategy, something that is going to make people aware that you are there. If you have all three of those, you are well positioned to see the growth and adoption of your open source project really take off. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to learn more, check out this next video where I talk to Joe Carlson from Tinybird, and we talk about how to grow your open source product and the open source growth flywheel. Hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to like and subscribe.